Getting in to meet with Richard proved harder than I expected, but the majority of that fault fell on me. I'd forgotten that, while he is a perfectly affable and understanding man behind closed doors, he is also the head of all Therian society in our city, and that meant there were certain procedures of respect I had to follow. Therians, short for therianthropes, a term that applies to all werewolf-like creatures regardless of which animal form they actually take, are sticklers for ceremony and etiquette. Yes, I'd been surprised too, but Bubba explained to me once that it was the best way to keep their animal instincts in line, making the human side of themselves constantly aware of their actions and the significance they held. What this meant for my meeting with Richard was that I had to go to his place of residence at an appointed visiting hour and do a bit of bowing and thanking for the privilege of serving under him. This was done in his extravagant hallway at the top of the office building he called home, a myriad of other Therians surrounding his marble throne and enjoying the show. It was a touch more extreme than Therian supplicants had to go through, but that was mostly because vampires had never really gotten along with the were community. If I were a particularly prideful person, I might have had an objection to going through it all just for a job. As it was, I treated it like I was in a tea ceremony. I might not understand the reasons for the actions required of me, but that didn't give me an excuse to ignore them. Once an appropriate amount of groveling had been achieved, Richard, standing at least 7 feet tall, his golden hair hanging shaggily down to his shoulders, rose from the cold marble seat he'd been resting on and gestured for me to accompany him to his private chambers. These were tucked away behind a thick wall that was only movable by one with strength beyond a human's capacity. Only after that door had once again been sealed did he turn to me and allow his serious face to split into a wide grin.
"Thank you for coming, Fred," he said,
his voice only a few octaves above a growl. I'd never seen Richard look totally human. It was possible he wasn't even able to. Richard was an alpha, a rare Therian of such strength and power that he was considered unbeatable by anything short of another alpha. That status gave him his size, position of authority, and enormous strength. But I often wondered about the price that came with such blessings. In magic, I was slowly learning, there was almost always a price.
"Sorry about all the formality at the door,"
Richard continued, running a hand through his golden hair. "Quite all right. I know your people have never seen eye to eye with mine. If it makes things easier, then I'm more than happy to accommodate."
"Any other week, I probably could have growled at my people and told them to piss off, but I need everything smooth right now," Richard explained. "I've got a lot of meetings this week with Therians who were driven out of a nearby community. Supposedly they're seeking sanctuary, though I'll be shocked if none of them tries to make a play for the throne."
"They'd have to be utterly suicidal," I commented, setting down my briefcase and surveying the room. It looked largely the same as the last time I'd been there, a generous space filled with cushy reinforced furniture and a large television. I knew the door nearest to me led to a kitchen, next to that was Richard's room, and through the one after that would be the room belonging to his daughter, Sally. The other doors led to places I didn't know, but presumably one of them housed Richard's permanent guest, Gideon. "I mean, even aside from you and your gang of friends, who would attack the King of the West?" Richard let out a low chuckle, the sort that would set your nerves on high alert if you heard it come from the dark shade of nearby woods.
"Gideon does not intervene in my affairs. That, too, is part of Therian society."